What up, everyone? I am back, and let me tell you, it has been a couple of weeks, but again, I'm back, so that's all that matters. But last video, I talked about how I wanted to explain to you guys what diabetes really is, because, like I said, not everybody knows what it is, or some people know what it is, but they don't really know the background of it. So I just want to get that situated so then everybody knows what I mean when I say what diabetes is and what I have. I'm gonna get real Bill Nye the Science Guy with y'all, but I'm not about to do no experiments or nothing. I'm just about to give y'all a dose of knowledge, but hopefully it's not boring where I lose you. So that's why I'm gonna try to sum it up a little bit. So let's start by, what is diabetes? Diabetes is a number of diseases that affect how your body deals with glucose in your body. And glucose is sugar, so glucose, sugar, glucose, sugar, sugar, glucose, sugar, glucose. So, an organ in your body called the pancreas holds insulin in your body, and the pancreas is located behind your stomach. Insulin is a hormone in your body that helps your body to use and store sugar and fats from foods. Insulin does a bunch of things, but for diabetes, it does one main particular thing. It controls how your body uses carbs. What our body does is it breaks down carbs and uses those carbs for sugar. Glucose I call the plug, basically, the man, the one that holds it all. Because without glucose, our bodies wouldn't function and they wouldn't move, basically, because glucose gives our body energy that we need to function. So what the insulin does is it gives it to our cells, and our cells transports it to our muscles, our fat, and our liver to produce energy for our body. What our fat does in particular, though, it holds the sugar and keeps it there for when you need sugar later on. So say you ate at 9 o'clock in the morning, then you do not eat for the rest of the day, not until 5 o'clock. That insulin, or that sugar that is in your fat, it kind of spurs some more sugar out to you, so it gets you going through the day until you can get to more carbs. But however, too much insulin makes our body want to go under war. So when we have too much insulin in our body, our fat likes to think that we need more sugar. And more sugar, while insulin is already producing the sugar, that makes us ill. So too much sugar or too much insulin makes us ill. No insulin makes us ill. So we need to have that middle ground for us to be, moving on through the day, having energy for our organs to function. What I mean by too much insulin and it makes us ill is that our body is you need food. You know that whole, you're not you when you're hungry. That's basically your body at a moment fighting itself and saying, I need food or I'm going to collapse. In the beginning, I said that diabetes is a number of diseases. So there are different types of diabetes. There's type 1, type 2, and then gestational diabetes. Hopefully I said that right. Hopefully. Type 1. So type 1, only 10% of people have it. This one is where you have no cure for it at all, and your body makes no insulin whatsoever. Type 2, your body makes a little bit of insulin, but it can't make enough insulin to accommodate the carbs and the food that you're eating. This one also, you can diet and exercise and basically maintain your diabetes for it to, fall back, and basically you don't have diabetes anymore if you maintain your diet and exercise. So because your body's already making insulin, it's just telling you, yo, you need to slow down your eating because I can't help you out with the extra stuff you're eating. Type 2 is the main one people like to think that everybody has, and the main one where they think that oh, because you're fat, you have diabetes. But that's not necessarily it. It's basically not necessarily it. But a lot of people like to think that one's the one, and everyone looks at me like, oh, you have diabetes, but you're not fat. Because I don't have type 2, and type 2 is not always because you're fat. It just means your body is not making enough insulin for you. So, it's okay, you guys. That's why I'm trying to get y'all hip, get y'all to understand what diabetes is before you go around looking like a fool. And people want to laugh at you because you don't educate yourself. I'm going to educate y'all. The third type is gestational, and that's, I don't mainly know a lot about that one, but I do know that one is when you are pregnant, and then that's when you get diabetes because basically you can't make enough insulin for your body and make enough insulin for the baby. So the diabetes usually goes away, not always necessarily. As much as I know about that one. But yeah. So like I said, I'm type 1 diabetes. So basically, I have to do everything manually for my body. When I need to figure out what my blood sugar is, I basically have to poke myself, put the blood on a strip. That strip is attached to a meter, which is an electronic device that calculates the blood and determines how much sugar is in my blood. I don't know if you guys done this. So if you ever go to the doctor, they prick your finger and you have to figure out your blood. That's what I have to do every day, a bunch of times a day, mainly 3 times a day, but sometimes more. And whatever my blood sugar is, if it's a high number, then I have to manually, again, put insulin into my body. And so like I said before, your fat holds sugar, and that sugar releases throughout the day or releases whenever you need sugar in your body. So I have to take 2 types of insulin. Your body already does this automatically, but the 2 insulins that I have to take a long acting, which that is your fat. So your fat that gives you sugar throughout the day, that's my long acting insulin. So I have to put that into my body. So I have to put that into my body, and slowly throughout the day, it kind of regulates me and keeps me in the middle, like keeps me going. But whenever I test my blood sugar and my blood sugar is high, then I have to take the second insulin, which is a short-acting insulin, and give myself and get myself back to a normal regulating number that your body already regulates you at. Also, I have to take short-acting insulin whenever I eat carbs. Most people think that diabetics can't eat sugar. Yeah, I can eat sugar. Diabetics can eat sugar. It's just that we have to take the short-acting insulin and put that into our bodies to help us stay regulated. So, basically, your body does all this. But I have to wake up and remember to do all this throughout the day, and I have to remember it every moment, basically, of the day. So, no insulin, no glucose, no energy. So, all in all, glucose is the plug. I just thought of something. Glucose is the plug. Insulin is... might be on to something here. Glucose is the plug. Insulin is the drug. And the pancreas is the trap house, y'all. It sounded right in my head. Then when I said it out loud, it kind of sounded right. But then I'm going to post this and I'm going to be like, I know that was a lot of information, and hopefully you stuck with me on that information and you weren't like, huh? Because I know when I was 5, I was like, okay, I got diabetes. I'm different. I know I'm different. Okay. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for telling me. Then when I was 10, I had to really get to know my body and what I had to do for my body to keep myself alive. I knew it was either life or death if I didn't understand it. At 10 years old, that's like a hard thing to take in. But once they were explaining it to me and explaining how I had to do math for the correction of my insulin for like when I eat, it was a lot, and I didn't know if I was gonna understand it. I was just sitting there like, huh? Insulin, what? Basically, when I said before that I have to think differently, I have to basically keep myself alive every day. To understand that people with diseases, they think differently, or people with diseases, they don't think differently from everyone. They are like everyone, but they have more to think in their life. And like that's what I said when I turned 10, I had to grow up. I had to get myself programmed to learn all this so that I can do it myself and without the help of my parents. Even though they still helped, but I have to learn to do it for myself for when they're not there, and when I'm in school, or when I'm out with my friends, or when I would eventually go to college. And I'm glad that I did learn so that I could go do things out in the world for myself. But then again, like I said, I will be explaining stories like that because I have a bunch of stories, life or death situations. I've had about 3 or so near-death experiences that, let me say, wake you up. They wake you up in life. But again, I just wanted to do this video so you guys can understand what I'm talking about when I say diabetes, and also get you to understand what your body does, because your body does the same thing that my body can't do each day, that I have to do manually. So thank you guys for listening again. Hopefully I can make the next video again next week. I really wanted to try to do this every 2 weeks or every week, but you know, life comes in, situations happen, and I tried my best to get the next video out, but I don't know what the next video is going to be about. Make sure you guys my workouts, make sure you guys my food that I take. Yeah. So I'm out. Love you guys.